These are your notes here, Anthony.
They are. You can use them if you
I
want.
know. We did our half-year results in July, and we did them at Bank of America Merrill Lynch at their massive conference center. And we did all the preparation and rehearsals the day before. And then we turned up, and I got up on the podium, and I looked down, and they weren't my notes. They were actually the notes for another company. So I said to the assembled analyst investors, I said, actually, a previous chief executive has left his notes. And reading them, I think they're better numbers than ours. But I'll leave you yours. It's very good to be here. And I was thinking about what my definition of leadership might be if I was sitting in the room as you were and thinking about it. And I don't think leadership is an obscure thing. I think it's a very practical thing. I also don't, for the record, think it's a very hierarchical thing. I used to, actually, when I was a lot younger than I am now. I used to think it was a very hierarchical thing because when you're more junior, you kind of assume it is. But actually, I've now developed a very clear view that actually leadership is a complementary thing. In other words, this is going to sound extraordinarily immodest, for which I apologize, but I happen to believe, and it's probably a good thing that I do, that I'm pretty well qualified to do the job that I'm doing. But interestingly, I don't think I'm very well qualified to do most of the jobs you're doing. And that's essentially what I mean by it's a complementary activity. Leadership is a role, it's a function. There are things I have to do in my job, and there are things that each of you have to do in your jobs. And if you get that complementarity right, actually the net sum is greater. And the same will be equally true in your own teams and in your own roles. And I think that is a change in the way in which leadership has evolved over time. I think effective leadership starts from the principle of collaboration rather than command and control. I think sustainable leadership is underpinned by a basic sense of common ownership, and really inspirational leadership that is sustainable over time has some fundamental generosity attached to it. And how you think about those things, how you create complementarity in your teams, how you create a sense of common ownership, and how you underpin it with a sense of long-term generosity and contribution is one of the things that I think it's worth thinking a little bit about. Somebody once said that experience is the thing that allows you to recognize when you're making a mistake that you've made before. And we all make mistakes. First time I was ever given a job of running a business, a small business, the end of pretty much my first week, my then boss said to me, "How did it go?" I said, "God, it was terrible. Terrible week," I said, and I sort of read out the litany of things that had gone wrong. He said, "Listen, just relax." He said, "In any given week, if you're doing 5.5 things right and 4.5 things wrong, that's a good week." So one of the things of leadership is it doesn't really matter. It's probably not a good idea if you're consistently doing 5.5 things wrong and 4.5 things right. But making mistakes and learning as you go will over time build an experience bank that will be, I think, extremely helpful for all of you.